Hello, everybody. This is Dr. Manley. Hopefully, you guys can hear me. Cool. All right, I'm going to wait a couple of minutes and hopefully some of you guys will come on tonight. I know it's Thursday night and we want to jump right in and share a few things with you on tonight. So I'm going to give you a few more minutes to come on board. Come on, everybody. Hey, Brianna. All right, we're going to have a few more minutes. Hey, Celeste. We'll be getting started in just a few minutes here. Hope you all had a good day. I have. It's been a really great day. I'm tired, but I've had a really great day. Great day. Hey, Taria. A really great day. I hope that you all have been getting some value out of these moments that we've had together. And if you have been getting some value or not, give me some feedback so I can have some idea of what I'm needing to continue to share and talk about. So yeah, feedback is always good. I need feedback. That helps us continue. I'll be making a short announcement towards the end of this session on tonight about something I'm going to be starting in a couple of weeks, which will be more centered around the beginning of December. But for the sake of me continuing putting things in the group and putting things in the post, I really need you guys to give me some good feedback. Good feedback. Thanks, Brianna. I appreciate that. Good. I'm just trying to, that's exactly what I'm trying to do, just lay a good foundation so you have something that you can make sure that you are going in the right direction. So how do you agree? Okay, I got you, Taria. All right, cool. So what I am going to ask, I'm seeing some questions come in, and maybe what I'll do is tomorrow I will gather up your questions, and for tomorrow, since I don't want to hold up your time in terms of meeting for a long period of time on tomorrow, because it is Veterans Day, and I'm sure some of you are, it is Friday, and some of you are going to be doing some different things, but I may get on after looking at your comments or your questions and come back and answer some questions. Okay, so if you have questions I haven't covered, things I haven't talked about yet, please feel free to put those questions out there. Private message me your question just in case I don't come back to the video tonight. I do have another call to be on in just a little bit, so I'm not going to hold you long in this call, but I do want to lay some foundation about something that's very critical and very important as it relates to our marriages. So it looks like it's about 9:07, I believe, 9:08. Yeah. So we'll go ahead and get started. So my title tonight is, have you or are you defiling your bed? Yep. Y'all knew I was going to come to talk about that. Couldn't escape that one. I think it's important and it is critical that we talk about it. It is something that is very important, even if we think that it's not. It is very important that we talk about defiling our bed, keeping the purity of what the marriage bed is all about, keeping the purity of what the marriage bed represents. Yes, women. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sis. Sex is on our husband's mind majority of the time. Yes, they are dominant. Their dominant thought, what drives them is sex. That is their expression of their love for us. It is oftentimes their way of releasing some sense of stress. But it is their drive. It is a drive for men. Men are very driven by sex. And most men are driven by sex and want to have sex with you. So I asked the question, are you defiling your bed? And I asked that question because if you listen to my story, and I gave little small things in my story, but in my story, I carried a cap on my head. And when I say I carried a cap, I had a cap or a lid on my head that kept me from being open. I was somewhat closed in some regards. Never, ever, in all the time that I've been married to my husband, ever told my husband no. Never. I've never said no out of my mouth. But my body said no lots of times. And I'm sure there's some of you out there that can identify with that. We may not always have the feeling and have the sex be on our mind like it is on our husbands. And sometimes we may not say no, but we are emotionally disconnected, which is a no in our body. And they can pick that up. They may not act like they pick it up. They may go right on with what they do and they're happy and satisfied. But really they pick it up. They know that we're not there. There is an emotional breakdown that happens for us many times because we're emotionally driven. We many times tend to disconnect when our bills are due and there's not enough money, when our children are sick, when there's a disagreement, when there's issues or things going on our own jobs. We emotionally disconnect because that becomes the dominant issue most of the time for us. And so because it's a dominant issue for us most of the time, it makes it very difficult for us to connect with our husband. It makes it very difficult for us to reconnect and stay on target with where they are. And so in order for us to say yes with our mouth and yes with our body, we have to be in the moment. We have to make the emotional connection. So for men, and I'm going to break it down just for a few minutes as much as I can without going too far into my course teaching that I'm going to be doing in a couple of weeks. But for men, once they enter into their home, everything that was bothering them, concerning them, it kind of goes out the window. When they walk into their home and their mind is set that they want to be with their wife, want to be with you, that part of them is of no effect. That's the least of their thoughts. For us, we hold it and it becomes our baby for a minute. We rock and cradle it. We rock it, we nurse it, we change its pamper, we feed it, we nurture, and we stay with that emotion. Whereas a man can simply disconnect themselves from it and be intimate with you and just as much with you as if the bill is not due. Whereas for us, we have rocked and cradled and nurtured and loved and massaged that we don't have enough money that we can't get in the moment with them. And so one of the things we have to do is we have to really come to the place to say, you know what? For these moments, even if I don't have the money to pay the bill, is the money for paying the bill going to come about during these moments that I'm with my husband? Most of the time, it's not going to show up. It's just not. So we have to reconnect back to our husbands. So that takes practice. That takes time. That takes us saying, you know what? Okay, let me breathe, because this is a moment I need to be with my husband. It is difficult. I get it. And Taria, I see all these questions, and I'm going to try my best to get to them. But I see you. But one of the things I've learned over time is, because I'm different, I'm not as driven by my sex drive like my husband is. I have to consciously make an effort to be in the moments with him. I have to set aside my job. My job can't come home with me. I have to set aside the fact, okay, he's the head at the end of the day. He's got the responsibility of making sure the bills are paid. I'm here to support him. I cannot cradle and baby and massage all of those heavy weights, because really that's not my load to carry. Sometimes we put on loads and we put backpacks on. We put on mental pressure that's not for us to carry anyway. And if he has the wherewithal to release it, then I've got to find the same wherewithal to release it so I can be with him and we can stay connected. Okay? When it comes down to disagreements between the two of you all, this is where forgiveness is so powerful. We have to walk in forgiveness on a daily basis. You cannot not forgive your husband. You have to forgive your husband on a daily basis. You've got to walk in forgiveness. So if you're not walking in forgiveness, then surely, yeah, you're going to be disconnected. You're not going to want to be close. You're not going to want to be intimate. You're not going to want to talk. You're not going to want him to touch you. Okay? Because forgiveness is a wedge. Unforgiveness is a wedge. Unforgiveness puts a sword almost in between you. Unforgiveness can cut off relationships and absolutely sever a relationship to the degree that is almost unrepairable or irreparable. And so forgiveness has to be constant in the relationship. Forgiving him for the things that he says or does. Now, I'm going to talk about that a whole lot, what forgiveness does, because the core to my story, the bottom core to my story of being able to move forward and overcome and be at the place we are in our marriage is forgiveness. And that's a part of the course I'm going to teach. A whole section. I'm going to teach just 2 weeks on nothing but forgiveness. What does that mean and what does it look like? So I'm really saying to you, ladies, I want you to be a part of this course. And many of you need to be a part of this course because it's really going to change your life. I'm telling you, it's going to be it's going to be major for you. Again, as I said before, I've seen some principles about Samson and Delilah specifically. Delilah was a bad girl. And I'm telling you, she got it. She understood it. And because she was used in an evil way, but it really was the plan of God. But I'm not going to get into that. But Delilah got some principles of getting the heart of Samson. And I'm telling you, if you follow me, you stay with me for these 10 weeks, you're going to get some valuable tools that are going to help you in that. Okay? But let me go back to my point. So as a woman, because we know we're emotional beings and everything is driven by emotion, we have to check our emotions on a daily basis. We have to walk in forgiveness. I have to forgive my husband daily and say, hey, hon, I have to forgive. I got to let this go. I have to let it go, the thing that I'm holding against him, because if I hold him hostage to it, then we can't move forward. Okay? So are you defiling your bed? What's happening with you? Are you the person who's defiling the bed? So a couple of things we have to keep in mind. I've got to walk in forgiveness. I've got to make sure that I'm staying connected to my husband. So that means I need to talk. I need to communicate. See, making love begins with my conversation that I have with my husband. We think of it just as a physical act. It's not only physical. It's our emotional connection. It's our conversation. It's what we're saying. How much are we talking out where we are? Now, many of us, some of you on this line, you've been married for a little bit, and some of you are newly married. Those of you who have been married for a little bit, things change. Things change over time. Things that you liked at the beginning have now changed. Things that you wanted in the beginning have now changed. Things that turned you on in the beginning have now changed. You have to talk. You have to speak those things. But you speak those things not with, you have to speak them in love, and you have to speak them in such a way that he understands and that you're speaking his language. One of the things I've learned to do is tell my husband, listen, honey, this is where I am today. What you do is really great, but this would make it take me to another place. All right? And I give it to him in that way. I'm giving him to know, I want you to do that, but let me add something to it that makes it even better. Okay? You can't come at him and say, that don't work for me no more, and you need to quit doing that. I know y'all laughing. Come on, give me the thumbs up in the heart. So that was funny. But anyway, I'm teasing. But what I'm saying, you can't come at him hard and think he's going to get that. Because now you got to realize that the sexual realm of your husband is a very sensitive place. His joy, his connection, his ability to be man is in that area. And so when you attack him in that area, you cause him to feel rejected. So you have to come with the tone and the conversation that's going to edify him, but yet get what you want. But we don't talk enough as women. We don't talk enough about what we want. Now, one of the things that I also want to say is, even for my newly married women or women who haven't been married that long, is that, listen, what you tell him you like, you can't change it tomorrow and say, well, I don't like that. You get him confused. Yeah. You got to stay, okay, if I like this today, then you grace him through to the other levels. Amen? You got to communicate clearly. That's why we don't enjoy the sexual relationship as much, because we don't communicate properly. We don't communicate enough. Also, most of us have not ever experienced a full or true, and I told you this is going to be pretty raw. I think I told y'all that, so if not, I'm going to tell you now. But my course is even going to be even more, because I want to make sure you get it. If you've never experienced having the great climax of your life, climax in that relationship, guess what? You're missing some of the most valuable parts. We let our husbands get theirs and we don't get ours. I said it. Yeah, I did. I said I'm going to say it again. We let them get theirs and we don't get ours. So what happens is they leave satisfied, we leave disappointed. No, ma'am. So I'm telling you, join this course. I'm going to give you some tricks. I'm not really some tricks. I don't mean tricks. I'm going to give you some tools. But here's the thing. You got to know what turns you on and what gets you to that place. If you don't know what gets you to that place, you don't know how to direct him in the whole set, in where you are. I've learned what gets me to that place. So I communicate that very quickly. I communicate it up front. Even if I have to lead out, and that's what we don't like to do. Women don't like to lead out in that area. But I'm telling you, if you learn how to be the leader sometimes in how you want it, you will get satisfied every single time. Every single time. But I'm going to teach that in this course. I'm putting it out here because I want you guys to kind of think about it. Because this is very important for women. We leave so dissatisfied and unfulfilled that we think that's the norm. It's supposed to be like that way. Well, as long as he got his, I guess I'm good. No, ma'am. No, you need to get yours too, but you have to know yourself. You have to know you. You have to know how and what you like, and you have to communicate it to your husband. He doesn't know every way and what to do. And because you are unique in who you are, you have to communicate that. So sometimes we defile our own bed by saying no because we don't want to go through all that it takes to leave dissatisfied. Right. So after all of that, I still got to get up and be dissatisfied? No, ma'am. No, after all of that, both of us should come to a place and we teach our husbands. Some of you all have older husbands. Some of you have husbands that are coming closer to the 40s and 50s. The older they get, the more you have to make sure that you're talking to them about their health. That plays a big part in you staying satisfied. I know I'm right about it. Y'all ain't got to say amen, and you ain't got to give me no thumbs up. I come with my own thumbs up. I love y'all. But what I'm saying to you is defiling your bed. Do you defile it? Do you take the value out of it? Are you saying yes with your mouth and no with your body? There's some things that we can do as women to connect ourselves. If you're tired, I'm going to give you one thing that I do when I'm tired. I am worn out tired, but I see it on the face of my husband. I see that he's already there. I'm not there, but I'm tired. One of the things that I would do, I don't like to be awakened in the middle of the night either, and I know you don't. You don't like to be awakened. But one of the things that I do, thank you, Tanya, I see that. You are right. One of the things that I do when I'm tired is I know my husband is a night owl. See, here's another point. You got to know your husband, how he is. Is he a night owl? Does he stay up late? Are you the night owl? Is he an early riser? Are you an early riser? What are the uniqueness of your relationship? My husband is a night owl. So one of the things that I would do is I will say to him, I'm sleepy. I'm tired. I'm going to take a nap. I didn't say I was going to sleep. I'm going to take a nap. When you come to bed, you can wake me. Now, I already know some of y'all saying, oh, no, Yes, I don't do it all of the time, but I do it a good portion of the time because I know I need to rest myself to prepare for him. Come on, somebody. So if he's still up and it's 10:30, 11 o'clock, I go to bed at the hour I normally do, and I get into sleep so that I can awaken myself and be connected to my husband. So I prepare myself before I go to bed. I take my shower. I put my smell goods on. I do all the things I need to do before I get in the bed. Okay, I'm just giving you some things. That's one of the things that I do. Helps me out because I have gotten some rest and now I'm prepared. Okay, guys, I'm going to give you a lot more. I told you I'm going to do a class. I'm going to have to stop right there because I do have another call to go on. Y'all just really making a whole lot of comments. Yeah, don't turn your nap into sleep. Please don't turn the nap into going to full out sleep. So if you have to leave your light on in your room, thank you, Celeste. If you have to leave your light on in the room, if you have to not fully dress yourself so that you can stay a little cool, or if you're the opposite, whatever, please don't fully go to sleep, okay? Because he's going to be looking for that. They come ready. They're never not ready, y'all. Okay? This is just practical stuff. I'm trying to lay a foundation for you. For some of you all, you may say, well, it's uncomfortable. It's painful. I've got issues. I understand. And so with that, we have to figure out, okay, what's the best method here? Is there a certain position that doesn't hurt? Is there a certain position that's not uncomfortable? Okay? Because you don't need to go sexually unfulfilled. I'm not a proponent of that because you need to also release the emotional, the exhilaration that comes from it. There are a lot of health benefits that go with just participating. Come on now. My blood pressure has gone down tremendously over the course of a year, not only with me walking, but with me increasing that area of my life with my husband. Oh, blood pressure, come on now. I'm telling you, the older I get, the more I'm seeing the benefit. So at any rate, I'm going to close it down now because I've been a little long on this one, but I wanted to give you as much as possible. I'm going to come into the group on tomorrow, from somewhere towards noon, maybe 1-ish or 2-ish. I'm going to put in a post. You don't have to be here. I will put it in. I do know it's Veterans Day, unless all of you all want me to come on at a certain time that you're going to be here. If that's the case, go into my private message and give me some time. So either after this call, if you put some feedback into the feed, just let me know what you feel is good in terms of a time if you want me to come on at a certain time. But put questions in if you have questions that I have not covered up to this point. We've covered back to the basics. We've covered, my husband is different. We've talked about who is this man, but studying your husband. We've talked about, whether or not you're defiling the bed. And I'm just giving you just really the cut and dry of it. I'm not giving you the real detail of what the course is including. But put those questions in there. I'll do my best on tomorrow to come in and answer those questions as much as I can. But in about 2 weeks, somewhere around maybe December 1st or December 2nd, I'm going to be starting a 10-week course. And in this course, I'm going to be talking about the principles and things I found out about Delilah that got Samson's heart in her hand. I'm going to talk about the things that move our husbands and that bring us to being his private or being his becoming his secret obsession. I'm going to teach them things that over the course of the 10 weeks, if you apply some of these things, not everything will work for your house and for your husband, but there are some basic things as women that you can do that will cause a turnaround for you as it relates to how you relate to your husband, how you talk to your husband, how he responds to you, you're responding to him, him reaching for you, you reaching for him, all of those things. So in a couple of weeks, so I'm going to put that information out. I'm going to let you know about that. If you're interested in being a part of that workshop, of that course, all the information will be provided. I'll need you to give me a private message in my feed to let me know you want to talk with me further about that. Okay? Because I definitely want some of you all to be there. I promise you it's going to be life-changing, and your husband is going to be overjoyed that you did it. My husband is so thankful that over the course of these last 7 to 8 years, that some things have transitioned and changed in my mind and in my thinking. When we change the way we think, we change the way we see. When we change the way we see, we change the way we behave. And I promise you, ladies, you're in for the ride of your life, and you'll never, ever regret it. So I'm going to go off the call tonight. I love you all. I thank you so much for taking your time out to listen to me. I pray that there's something that I've said that have encouraged you, a foundation that I've laid. I'm going to continue to put stuff into the group, so stay tuned. But put those questions out there so I can see those for tomorrow. Okay? Ladies, take care. Take care. Take care. Be encouraged. It's not over yet. There's so much more to come, and your marriage will be great. God bless. We'll talk to you later. Thank you.